Look at your phone. Open the Starbucks app, your airline app, your credit card portal. See those numbers? The stars, the miles, the points? Now, what if a switch flipped and every single one of them turned into cold, hard, spendable cash? Right now. Your 10,000 points for a free hotel night just became a rent payment. Your free coffee just triggered a $2 billion bank run. This isn't a fantasy. This is a stress test of the entire economy, and it starts in your pocket. Here's the one new rule for our scenario. Every single loyalty point can now be redeemed for cash at a 1-to-1 value. Not a gift card, not a coupon for 20% off. Real US dollars transferred directly to your checking account with a single tap. Years of accumulated points from flights, hotel stays, and grocery runs? They all become liquid assets instantly. For some of us, that's a few $100. For a business traveler, that could be a new car, paid in full, today. So just how much money are we talking about? This isn't pocket change. This is a shadow economy. Let's start with the airlines. In 2020, when travel stopped, United Airlines needed a loan. They didn't use their planes as collateral. They used their loyalty program, Mileage Plus, which was valued at a staggering $21.9 billion. That's more than the market cap of companies like Hertz or Snap Inc. at the time. The points were worth more than many entire businesses. And United wasn't alone. American Airlines valued its A-Advantage program even higher, somewhere between $19.5 and $31.5 billion. Meanwhile, Delta's partnership with American Express is its secret engine. In 2023 alone, Amex paid Delta $6.8 billion for SkyMiles. That's not a valuation. That's a river of actual cash flowing into the airline, just for creating digital points. It's not just airlines. Starbucks, your neighborhood coffee shop, holds between $1.8 and $2 billion in stored value on gift cards and in its app. Think about that. Every holiday season, millions of people give Starbucks an interest-free loan, larger than the deposits of many small community banks. And then there's American Express itself. At the end of 2023, its liability for unredeemed membership rewards points was nearly $11 billion. Add in hotel giants like Marriott and Hilton with their own multi-billion-dollar point balances, and you're looking at a hidden money supply in the tens, maybe hundreds of billions. So how can these companies afford to have liabilities this big? The whole system is built on one simple, powerful secret: breakage. Breakage is the industry term for all the points that are never, ever redeemed. People forget they have them. They expire. They can't find a flight they want. It's like a gym membership people pay for but never use. That unspent slice of points isn't just a rounding error. It's pure profit that makes the entire rewards machine churn. Our 1-to-1 cash rule kills breakage dead, instantly. Why would anyone let a single point expire when it's worth $1? Every point ever issued suddenly becomes a payable debt. The silent subsidy vanishes. The accounting flips overnight. A deferred liability that was supposed to be paid out gradually with cheap seats and empty hotel rooms becomes a hard cash obligation that is due right now. Let's run the simulation, starting with the airlines. Their loyalty programs aren't a side hustle. For some, they are the hustle. They function like high-margin manufacturing plants. The product? Digital miles, which cost almost nothing to create. They sell these miles in bulk to banks for billions in cash today. The bank then gives those miles to you for using their credit card. The airline gets your loyalty and a massive cash infusion. In this system, the airline is almost more of a bank that happens to own some planes. When the cash out begins, this beautiful model shatters. That river of cash from the banks reverses course as customers pull billions of dollars worth of miles out of the system. The airline's biggest asset becomes their biggest liability. Their first move? Freeze everything. Award charts locked down. Then, to generate cash, ticket prices for regular seats would have to spike. They can't devalue the points by making flights cost more miles anymore. Their only lever is the cash price of a ticket. Next, hotels. Chains like Hilton and Marriott operate on a franchise model. The parent company loves when you redeem points because they get to sell those points to the individual hotel owner who has to give you the room. It's an internal moneymaker. But in a mass cash-out, that system jams. The parent company is on the hook for billions in cash withdrawals. To slow the bleeding, they'd funnel redemptions into a limited number of reward nights, creating a bottleneck. This puts a squeeze on the franchisee, the person who actually owns the building. They're forced to accept a flood of zero-revenue guests while still paying staff, cleaning rooms, and servicing their own debt. Or they have to buy points from corporate at an inflated rate. Either way, they get crushed. Expect to see blackout dates, new fees, and frantic rewrites of franchise agreements to stop the bleeding. Now for the banks. This is where it gets really interesting. Your credit card rewards are funded by something called an interchange fee. Every time you swipe your card, the merchant pays a small percentage, maybe 2%, to the banks. A slice of that fee pays for your 1 or 2% cash back. It's a balanced, profitable loop. But a mass cash-out of years of saved-up points is not in the budget. It's a shadow bank run, not on deposits, but on rewards. Banks would have to pay out billions in immediate cash expenses they hadn't planned for. Their response would be swift and brutal. Sign-up bonuses would vanish overnight. Credit lines would be slashed. Interest rates might even go up to cover the losses. The entire business of credit card rewards, a primary driver of consumer spending, would grind to a halt or be fundamentally reshaped to be far less generous. And finally, our favorite stealth bank, Starbucks. That $2 billion in app balances and gift cards isn't just sitting in a vault. It's working capital. It funds operations, inventory, payroll. It's an interest-free loan from millions of loyal customers. When that loan gets called in all at once, the company faces a massive liquidity crunch. Suddenly, every barista is an unwilling bank teller at a $2 billion ATM. Zooming out, what does this do to the whole economy? The U.S. M2 money supply, basically cash, checking, and savings, is about $21 trillion. Injecting, say, $100 billion of newly liquid cash from points isn't enough to break the system, but it's a targeted stimulus bomb. It's new spending money appearing in millions of wallets, completely outside the control of the Federal Reserve. That money would chase the same goods. Prices for flights and hotels would surge first, causing localized inflation flare-ups. Regulators would panic. They'd be looking at a massive, unregulated form of e-money that acted like bank deposits but had none of the safety rails, like capital reserve requirements. Emergency hearings would be called. The phrase systemic risk would be on every news channel. So what would companies do on day one? They'd hit the brakes, hard. Expect daily redemption caps, digital queues, and forced installment payouts over months or years. They would introduce haircuts, offering you maybe 90 cents on the dollar for an instant payout, or the full dollar if you're willing to wait a year. Lawyers would have a field day rewriting terms of service, and class action lawsuits would be filed before lunch. And here's the final, startling realization. Your free coffee was never free. Your bonus flight wasn't a bonus. You were participating in a sophisticated financial system where your loyalty and spending habits were the product being sold. These programs aren't cute perks. They are the profit engines, sometimes more valuable and more stable than the planes, hotels, and coffee shops they're attached to. So the next time you scan a barcode to earn a few stars, remember the massive, hidden machine you're powering. If that machine ever had to pay out one-to-one in cash, your latte might finally be free. But the cheap flight you were saving for, the hotel room for your vacation, and the stability of the companies behind them definitely wouldn't be.